They're getting there.
Live now. Live now.
All right, we're live. Case BzzAgent. Case number 6. So what does BzzAgent do, and what need is being met?
Guys, I just wanted to mention that I actually participated in their thing that they do for like a while.
Did you sign up to be a BzzAgent?
Yes! And I got like shampoos and like stuff.
Nice.
But
I like free stuff. Maybe I should sign up.
That's why I signed up. But I stopped doing it. Anyways.
you stopped doing it. Okay.
Yes.
I like to get to a point where maybe they send me a car.
Yeah. And it takes forever. That's why I stopped.
Like a TV.
There's also another one. There's another. It's called Pinch Me. I don't know if you guys.
So basically, they partner with companies that have products, maybe a service. The BzzAgent is a member of the community who uses the product and tries to review it or recommend it.
Yeah.
And then pass it on by word of mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, they make you post it in like social media and stuff like that.
Oh, they make you?
Yeah. They don't make you, but you have to if you want to get the points that they were talking about.
Right, and then you could use those points to actually like do stuff or buy stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So when did you do this BzzAgent thing?
When I was pregnant.
Ah.
Last year.
Okie dokie.
Well, is it one need is being met?
Well, obviously everybody spends money on advertising, so it's another form of advertising. It gives companies a different way to advertise.
Yeah.
Well, it's also more, it's also more successful because, I'm sorry, I would rather hear from my neighbor than a very biased commercial.
Right.
Yeah, because you can ask.
It could be misleading too. Commercials could be misleading.
Yeah.
When are they not misleading? Come on, you go to let's see, the last commercial that I remember seeing was let's see, Carl's Jr.
Yeah, those sandwiches don't look like that. They're more squished. No. There's no
exactly.
The lettuce is like it's like white. It's not even green.
Nice, and on the commercial, it's nice and fluffy. No, the bun is like nice and fluffy.
The tomatoes not frozen.
Yeah, but you actually get it, and the bun is like squished and yeah.
What about the product market fit? Have they demonstrated demand they can profitably serve?
I think they were all kind of all over the place, right? With what kind of companies they were serving.
It's hard to look at because they well they have their financials here. And it said they were profitable right away.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at the exhibit here.
3.
Yeah. So
they have like all sorts of market.
Exhibit 5. Exhibit 5. What's Exhibit 3 say? No, I was looking at Exhibit 5 for their income. I mean, it says net income in 2004 was.
Wait. Wait, it says product market fit. Is it talking about like who their target is? Or is it talking about profit?
No, product market fit.
Because I thought it was talking about the target market.
Yeah, the product market fit. Like
who are they targeting?
Yeah, they're business to business, right? They're a business that sells to businesses.
Yeah.
So I think businesses recognize that it's a useful service and they're getting revenue. So
And it also Serve has a way to um that part of marketing where they have to sample the product, whatever it's called, that phase. They just choose a small group to try it.
Oh, focus groups.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Current assets.
How they profitable Serve? How they demonstrated demand? Yeah, right. I mean, they have their profits increased over the years, like you were saying. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah. Yeah, they have income. So they have net income.
Yeah.
What makes BzzAgent successful?
What makes them successful?
Yeah.
I would say they're successful because it's I would say the word of mouth thing.
Um,
They're
And
they
they
they're
figure
not
it out. They figure out a way to. I mean, how do you make business off of me telling my brother to do something? How do you make money off of a sister telling her sister what to do? What I mean, how do you make money off that? Like, how do you actually keep doing it and keep doing it over and over again and promote it?
yeah, and also they're like also what makes them successful is like yes, they have competition, but it's not really competition because they serve a more broader like they have everything, from young teenage products to like older people product. So they cater to everyone. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Right. Sure. Teeny. They have things that you could be any age to be a buzz agent.
Yeah. So I think like companies they're more attracted to them because of that. So I did the calculations on that. And from 2000, I netted, I don't know if you guys want to see it as net income or revenue. Net.
So pull out.
I
So
did
are
it
you
both.
on to the next section, Zool? The next question.
Yeah.
Table A and Exhibit 5.
Uh-huh.
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
Where's Table A? Oh, it's way up there. Where's Table A? There it is, way up there. Okay, so I have Table A.
But table A shows like how much they make a profit out of a campaign, right?
So Table A is is that cost for an ad campaign.
Yeah.
For
growth, what I got for growth and net income from 2002 to 2004 is like 4.9.
Okay. So table A doesn't do much other than it shows us what their profit margin is on a given.
Yeah.
So exhibit 5. That's way down here, and it's crooked.
And then 2002 to 2006, sorry, is 47.1, their growth rate.
All right. So there's a growth rate between 2002 and 2004, and then there's a growth rate from 2002 to 2006.
Yeah.
So we can follow along here. It says how to calculate their growth.
I think by net income or maybe revenue.
I'm thinking revenue for their
So
sales.
by revenue is 26, 2002 to 2004, and 2002 to 2006 is 20%.
I see assets. Okay, so this is that's their balance sheet. Where's their income statement? Is that it?
I thought it was Exhibit 5.
Yeah, exhibit 5, but it has both their financials. Net income, blah, 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 cash. Okay. So it should be page 20. So page 20, their total revenue. So 2002 was 59.
Wait, I think I did it wrong.
Yeah.
Oh no, I did it right.
You have it. Do you want to? Can you share your screen?
Wait,
Or
give me
no?
a second. Let me just double check. Yeah, I did it right. I'll try.
We still have to turn in an individual case study report, right?
No, we only do the Excel, right?
Correct.
Okay.
We do the Excel spreadsheet. We do the this discussion, and then we do the reflection at the end.
All right.
Can you see that?
Hold on. Switch screen. Oh, I see that there's something there, but hold on. It's not. There it goes. Huh. So you just
You're supposed to be
you're just doing the difference.
Yeah, well, I searched for the
Like calculating growth rate.
Yeah.
So 59042, 721,564, 721,564, 2598007, 2598007. At the end of 2005, they did 7 million. And in 2006, they did 19 million.
Oh, wait, in revenue?
292, yeah.
Did I get that one wrong? I might have done it wrong. Income. I think I did that one wrong.
Yeah. Let's see, equals.
Oh, no, it's right here. I thought this was the net income. Right?
Wait, where are you? I'm not doing income. I'm looking at revenue, the revenue growth.
Oh, okay.
Because their net income doesn't have to grow because they could be, building, opening up more offices or,
Yeah.
building a better website, but it still shows that they grow.
Hmm.
Okay,
I
so
What?
so for their growth, Sewell,
Yeah.
so taking 2002 to 2003, they went from 59,000 to 721,000. If
And
you had
revenue?
if you had a percentage, that's about a 1,200% increase.
Okay. I think I did it wrong.
So from 2003 to 2004, they had a 360% increase.
Okay.
And then from 2004 to 2005 it was 280, and so on. So I'll share my screen.
You know what? I took the numbers from develop and design. That's what I did.
Do you see this?
Yeah.
So those are the years. That's the revenue.
Okay.
So this is my formula. I'm taking the new year, dividing it by the old year.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially that's 12 times.
Yeah.
So if I did equals this times 12, that's about 12. Right? So they grew 12 times.
That's crazy.
Right, and this one here
Yeah.
they grew 3.6 times. Here they did 2.8 times, 2.7 times. Yeah, so I mean, if you're an investor, that's why these things are exciting, because look at how much growth it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if in 2005 you gave them, $1 million and got to have, say 10% of this, and then all of a sudden, so in this year, if you got 10%, you got $1.9 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it only cost you $1 million. So,
Wow.
all right, so that's what I'm guessing what their growth rate is. And it says, how satisfied are you with the revenue growth? I would say we would be satisfied, right?
Yep. It just keeps growing.
It says, how satisfied are you with the operating margin?
Operating margin.
Those operating margin, the margin after all the administrative stuff. There it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's basically like all the costs.
That's really good. After you're right. So after, well, because see where it says total cost of revenue. So total cost of revenue.
Is you mean total revenue or total?
So where it says total cost of revenue on page 20,
Okay.
total cost of revenue is basically
okay.
the cost of goods, right? So in 2004, they spent $631,165 to make 2,598,000, right? Which means that's a 70. So their revenue is 75% of what it costs them. So they have really high margins.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Well, it says like it has a percentage to. No, I'm not in page 21 operating margin percentage.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
It has a percentage also for operating margins. It's like 114 for the first year.
Yeah. So
Charles,
yeah,
you're quiet.
What's that?
You're quiet.
I'm listening. What's wrong with listening?
It's a discussion.
it's a discussion.
Yes, I know it's a discussion, but I'm.
So the question was, how satisfied are you with the operating margin?
We are satisfied because they just keep increasing.
Operating margin is basically another term for gross, like profit margin.
Yeah.
Except that it doesn't. So that's the earnings before interest and taxes. Right. So 25% margin. That's good because that means every year, as you look down in 2005, 2006, every year they're left with like $2-3 million in the bank.
Yep.
And if you look at their balance sheet under their cash and cash equivalents on page 19, 2005 they had 2.3 million in the bank. 2006 they had almost 3.5 million in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
So the question I have though is, if the investor gives them say $10 million, where is that 10 million?
Like, where is it going?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know at what point they have an investment. I'm just saying that if the company gets $10 million,
My My
You
other
know?
question was like basically I don't know how would they use it for because the company is the one that basically like pays for everything. You know what I mean?
Oh, are you saying like why do they need the money?
Yeah.
Well, they need the money so that they could take it from. They want to take, they want to take it from. Where's their revenue here? Yeah, they want to take it from $12 million in revenue to like $120 million in revenue.
Okay. I was just confused on that part because like
I'm wondering like if their net income is $3 million in 5 years. I'm trying to figure out where they how they pay an investor back. Like well, we did the in that spreadsheet. Um,
3 million times 5.
well, I was thinking, how much money will the if they invest 15 million, how much money do they get back? If they invest 15 million, when they exit, they're supposed to get $55 million back. That was the page 2 on our spreadsheet, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Which means they need to be making 90. So that's the implied revenue at exit. So it says $96.5 million.
Per year.
Yeah, but look where they're at. They're at 19 million.
Oh, what?
So right now, 2006 total revenue was 19.7 million.
And they need to be at 90, you said, right?
They need to be at 96 million. I don't know.
That's
But I mean,
so strange.
if they're growing at 200% a year, meaning if they're doubling their business every year, basically, right?
Yeah.
2007 they'll be like 30 million. 2008 they'll be 60 million. 2009, they'll be over 100 million basically. So I guess if they keep growing at 200% or more, then they should get there.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of talking about question number 4 naturally. It says if BzzAgent is growing and profitable, why are they raising the money now? Can they succeed without venture capital funds?
I think they could succeed without venture capital funds. But they
Well,
just have to.
I think 2005 is when they're talking to the investors, right? Yeah, and so 2005 is when they're having these discussions. So the 2005 2006 numbers are forecasts, but if their forecasts are correct, then in 2006 they'll have at least over 10 million in revenue.
I hate that I have to bend my head.
So we think they could succeed without the funds.
I think so.
I mean,
Because
growing 200% a year, I mean, that's pretty good.
yeah.
So the other, it says, what role does timing play in this decision? What role does timing play?
Well, they were talking about in the case of how their companies basically already at stage, they're already past stage A, right? Or something like that.
Right. They kind of had they kind of had a seed round, which they're really actually counting as a series A.
Yeah. I mean, like, at this point, their companies, like, I mean, they're, for me, they seem really successful for the short amount of time they
Right.
on.
Uh, what role does timing play in this decision? So what if what if they wait? What if they wait until 2006 when all of a sudden now they're making 10 million instead of 7 million or whatever?
But then they might run into the problem of we don't have enough money to reach more people. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. What I wonder is that I think they if we look at the case study, I think they brought up that they wanted to partner with somebody that will help get the company in contact with whatever, wanted to help them networking and have added value. But doesn't it seem like that's kind of expensive? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess if they help them grow to like 100, 300, if they help them grow to become $1 billion company, then what's 55 million? It seemed expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, it seemed like couldn't you just get a loan for like a 5 million and pay like 10% interest on it and go from there? I mean 30% return? I don't know. I don't understand. I just don't.
My
I don't
question
know.
is like, why do they want so much money? Like you say,
Right.
like you were saying, like they could just do it with less, right? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah. And it says how much money does Buzz? So how much money does BzzAgent need? And I don't know how to answer that
I
other than
feel it depends on how much people they want to have as agents, you know? So I feel that's like, is their system capable of reaching more than the certain people they already have? Like at what certain point can their system not be able to? How many people is it capable to reach? I guess that's the question or whatever.
sure. Well, I'm just looking at. I mean, their income is growing really well. I mean, they're profitable and they have really good margins. Um, so, if on their projections, like, what do they need their money for? Because the cost to do the kits and the fulfillment and all that isn't very much money compared to their revenue. So I don't think they need the money for designing the marketing kits and things.
Mhm.
They could increase their sales budget, um, increase their services, their marketing, maybe technology expense.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe like the technology, like how their whole system. Maybe that's why they're wanting so much money to
So if
upgrade
we
it.
look at their total operating expense, on page 21. It's about, so this is a projection. It's about $10 million.
Wait, just 21.
So what happens is, so because you have sales, you have production, communications, services, administrative marketing, all that stuff adds up to about $10 million on page 21.
Okay, I see it. I see it.
So if you get an investor to give you $10 million, you can now run all of those services and, you could run all that stuff using somebody else's money to grow your company, right?
Oh, for 5 years, right?
Well, that's $10 million. That's the total operating expense. So if you burned through all that money in a year, that's $10 million of your own money that you don't have to spend.
Yeah.
And so if next year, so what I'm saying is next year, if in 2007, instead of $3 million net income, it's double that. It's $6 million. Well,
Because
you've almost got your $10 million back, and you could afford to. So you didn't spend the $10 million. You spent somebody else's $10 million.
Yeah.
So that year you didn't have to have those expenses. You made $6 million. You have to pay the investor a 30% return. So there's $3 million right there. So you're only left with the net income of the $3 million, because if you paid your investor, that's half of the $6 million. But you still have $10 million in the bank.
Yeah.
Because you didn't spend your money. I guess that's what I'm thinking. But
I guess that makes sense. Like if you put it that way, why they want so much money?
Yeah, because I think even in the case study, it mentions that they don't necessarily need more money.
Yeah.
All right, my wife and son are out now. It's gonna be noisy. Number 5. So I don't know if I could I don't know if I could pinpoint why they need money. Charles, do you have any thoughts on why BzzAgent needs money, or how much money they need?
I really don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
All that I can assume is that they want the extra money to grow bigger, but I don't quite understand why they can't just wait until they have more revenue coming in.
Right.
Maybe they want that money too, partner.
Hi.
Let's open our spreadsheet.
Yeah, so my spread. Hi, Grant. Okay, so compare the $50 million valuation on a $15 million investment.
Okay, let's eat something. Yeah, we can eat something. What do you want to eat?
Discuss the math you used to calculate. I think we kind of did that at the beginning.
On the interesting thing here, though, is it says value of BzzAgent.
That's nothing.
So the value of BzzAgent on line 13 on the page 2 there is $241 million.
No hummus?
Yeah, it's like 55 million something higher if they go to the valuation.
So this is saying, okay, though, this is assuming that the company is making money, right?
Yeah.
This assumes that the investors are able to exit with that money.
Yeah.
Right? Because this is the thing. There's no guarantee that this company is going to succeed. So the assumption is, if the company succeeds, then the venture capitalists get X.
Exactly.
So it's making It's making the assumption that comes an expectation of future returns. It says accepting a higher valuation will require management to create more value to achieve the desired return. Unlike the sale of an asset, a sale of equity comes with an embedded expectation of future returns on which management is expected to deliver.
So no matter what, they have to achieve, basically, right?
Right. Okay. So it says how much they have to grow to achieve that return. Right. So it's making an assumption that they're able to get to that level, and so therefore, a 30% rate of return is 55 million. Then that would mean that BzzAgent would have to have. Oh, if you add the two numbers together as well, that's 296 million, 296.9 million. So basically, it's 300. So it'd be a $300 million company.
Basically, the value of it almost.
Right. Yeah. So it'd be a $300 million valuation. I'm guessing, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you're counting the shares and the. Huh.
So the implied revenue is 90. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's a lot more work for them for sure.
Yeah.
They really have to perform.
I mean, their current revenue is 7. With the ones that their terms is only 74, and now they're just basically with the new one. If they chose the other one, they will be adding another 55. But it does add value to the company if they do go that route. That's the other.
What do you mean add value to the company? In what way?
Like if they were to exit, the value of the company is higher, right? Because it's 185 with them, with their terms, and then it's 241 with the other companies.
Yeah, well, it's that way because it has to be that way, right? That's how much it has to be valued, right? So so if you go down to the implied revenue, that means in that year, so what, 2011 or whatever it is,
Yeah.
their revenue needs to be $96 million.
Huh.
What's interesting is that in 2011, the company was sold.
Really?
Yeah.
By how much?
I'm not going to say.
Why?
Because it'll skew things. So, all right. So yeah, we had to use the so it says discuss the math. We had to use the the answer sheet.
I definitely have to use it.
It's a calculation of like future value, right? That's why it uses the exponent.
Yeah.
They bought it for 60 million.
No, don't say anything, Charles.
Why? Why?
You look.
Yes, I looked.
Okay, but you're a man. You can compartmentalize this information. Zool can't.
And your point?
She doesn't compartmentalize as well as men do. Discuss.
Oh. But hey, that information of $60 million is irrelevant because that is not within the parameters of the case study.
Right.
So that additional information does not matter.
You're very good at compartmentalizing. I like it. Way to be unbiased. Okay, so we had to discuss the numbers and feel comfortable with the numbers. I think the capitalization was easier. I think I agree. What we talked about earlier. The investor return requirements was a little more challenging because it deals with, I think, future value of or calculating.
Oh, what I found interesting is the shares, how by decreasing it by like 1 cent, how it can increase the number of shares and the value of it.
Oh, where is that one?
Step 4 in capitalization table.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so well, so if you go from $7.07 to $7.06, it doesn't change that much. Because one thing I didn't understand is the option pool, like how that grew, I guess. I think so. I guess the venture capital, so we wanted to have a larger option pool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Is that to pay their people? I don't know what that means. But if you change, so it says $7.06, if you just change it to 707 in the spreadsheet, it doesn't change anything very much. Because it goes from current shareholder value 38.99 million to current shareholder value 38.935 million. So if you're looking at the different values, the totals.
Uh-huh.
I will share my screen. All right, you see this?
Yes.
So you're talking about these difference in values, right?
Yeah.
It's not the share price that's doing that.
Oh, it's not?
No. No, watch. So see, I'll just change it. I'll just change it to 707. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, well,
It's because it's the number of shares. You see here? There's more shares. These numbers get bigger.
how do you get that 707? Because you had to divide a number to get that.
No, it's 706. It's right off. This is just right off the term sheet, really. I just pasted it in there. This is all multiplication. It's just this times that. It's just the share price, the number of shares.
Yeah, but I had to find that $7.06. I had to divide G9 by G32. G9.
Sure. Right. They're buying. Yeah, they're buying. I mean, I did it a little bit. Yeah. They're buying X amount of shares for $15 million. You just do the math, and that's how much the share price was. I mean, it's basically the same share price. It's just that. See, if you can see here, it's not quite six. It's supposed to be a $65 million valuation, and it's it's a few $1,000s. It's it's a little shy. If you put a decimal after the end of it, so the share price. To see as I keep changing it, so if it's 7.063, it keeps changing it. So really, I get closer and closer. Aha! That's close. So it's 7.0615 per share. And that gets it to the $65 million valuation. So you just round down at 7.06. But here's look at this. See this the shares here where it says 5.5 million?
Yeah.
What I don't understand is how did they get more shares?
Because of the price of the share. The lower the price, the more you can get.
Okay, so
Does that make sense? Because they gave 15,000 divided by the 7.06, it should give you the shares, right?
Well, so my thought was that they have $40 million, the initial share, the current shareholders. Okay, well, here's the option pool. Okay. The current shareholders have $36 million worth of stock. So I get my calculator. So 30 plus this equals that divided by that.
How much is it?
See, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't change anything.
Yeah, it did. It changed it to 98.
No, but look though. See, this is the difference. So this formula is the total number of dollars they own, and then that's the total. So the share value stays the same. I don't get it. Well, that's the price. That's a Series B price per share. So, how did they get to this? How did they get to 5.5 million? I don't know.
Maybe they invested more? Wait, didn't they say that we're going to invest more? Once it reaches Series B or something like that?
Go to the tab and discuss your response to each question. I don't know. We don't have to dwell on it. It's just something I couldn't figure out.
Okay.
But it says, why is the price per share of the VC term sheet very close to that of the VC term sheet? The value of current shareholders is different. Well, isn't that? I think that's part of my question.
I think we're discussing it. We didn't even know. We didn't even notice.
the price per share of the VC term sheet is very close. So this is where you type your answer in. So the price per share. So this is what they This is what they came up with. And this is what This is what they came up with.
Mm-hmm.
So
Suggested.
it says they're very close. They're basically the same. Okay. But why is the value of the shareholders different? Because the valuation.
I really thought it was because of what I thought it was, but I guess
But
not.
I'm just curious how they get more shares.
I'm thinking they invested more.
No.
Because the more you get shares is because you invest more.
Here's the difference. But this is the difference right here. You can still see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is that 425,000. That's the difference between the shares. So somehow they gained 425,000.
Well, times it by 706.
That's what I'm gonna do. That is $3 million.
So they invested 3 more million. Right? Or am I understanding this whole share thing wrong?
Or did they get $3 million in value?
Maybe because it does increases almost 3 million in value.
Well, yeah,
right?
that's it right here. You can see the difference. That's about $3 million. So it's only $65,000 off.
What do you think, Charles? He probably left. He left.
I know.
Okay, bye.
I'm
Okay.
Okay, so I'm thinking it has to do with the value. So they were valued at the heck. I think there's a page. They were valued at 40 million, and now they're valued at
49
50 million.
Yeah.
So that is an increase of how about this equals that divided by that equals that divided by that 8%.
Yeah.
So how about equals this divided by that, which is 80% more. So 40 million. What?
I'm just curious. Are we looking too far into these questions?
The thing is, I can't answer them. I don't. I mean, it takes time, but I just don't. I'd like to have the answer. I'd like to figure out why. Where did those shares come from?
Yeah, and that's the point of a discussion too. Like you need to discuss and figure things out.
Okay.
It's like banging head on the wall, but
that's why we need we need your help so we can get this more faster going.
Pick up the slack. I don't get this. They got $3 million somewhere.
Someone invested more. Maybe they got a new investor.
No. It's 8%.
Maybe they lied to us and it was actually 15 plus 3. How much was that? I don't know.
So they got an 8% increase in value, basically. So if equals that times 1.08, Not quite, but close enough. So they had an 8% increase in value. So an 8% increase in valuation didn't happen because it's at 50 million and 8% would only be from 43. How did they get an 8% increase in value? Does it show it? Does it show how they got here in the back? No.
I know that they have an 8% of revenue increase. Require revenue.
This is the VC return, and I'm trying to find capitalization. Yeah, we're at capitalization. So the shares, under current shareholders, shares under current shareholder value. It doesn't show how that came to
Unless
be.
do ownership play a part? Oh, the option pool? What is that?
Option pool. Shares of stock reserved for employees of a company. Investors typically insist on the creation of an option pool to attract additional talent to the company without further diluting their ownership stake. So if they want to hire somebody and they say, hey, we'll give you stock options.
Oh. Kind of like what Gap and Walmart do.
Yeah, I just don't get how they all of a sudden have more shares.
Okay. Maybe we should move on.
I feel like it has something to do with the other thing that we did. Last time we did evaluation, they did get more shares, though. I don't get it. It has something to do with the valuation. They 10 million.
Well, the required revenue, it increases by 8%. Does that matter? On VC return requirements?
Where did it say that?
On the VC return requirements, the required revenue increases by 8%.
Where?
8 points.
Show that.
It doesn't show it. I just did the math.
Oh. Well, I remember on the last worksheet we did on the last spreadsheet, when they got a higher valuation at a certain share price, you divided the value by the share price, and then that's how many shares you just got.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
So if they had $36 million, oh, I see here. Okay, well, if we did if I did 36 divided by 40, that's 90%. The option pulls another 10, so they get 90%. So if they went from a $40 million valuation to a $50 million valuation, then what's 90% of 50? That's 45. So it's 45 million. But that doesn't come out right either. Man, this should be easier.
I feel like a lot of these questions are like
hard.
sometimes.
That's called a submit truck.
But which one do you think is more important for the founder and the Series A investor?
Fire truck, dump truck, and a submit truck.
Which number?
Why is the price per share and of the VC term sheet very close? Oh, which number is more important to you as a founder? And that's why this is the thing. Like, I think that's why this is such an important question, because it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because something clearly is going on here, right? It's like something fishy is going on.
Now, the question I have is the question written wrong? Is it why is the price per share of the BzzAgent term sheet very close to that of the VC term sheet?
Right, I should say, yeah, that's what it should say.
Because the way that it's written, it's throwing me for a loop.
Yes.
It makes no sense, BC term versus VC term.
Yeah, you're right.
Makes
It should
no
say BuzzFeed. I'm going to change it in mine. Or BuzzFeed, BzzAgent, sorry. Yeah. You're right, Charles. And I'm changing it on mine so that it doesn't throw me off. I changed it in my spreadsheet. And so this is the question. Why is it very close? Why is that? I mean, we have to turn the spreadsheet in. And the thing is, I can't answer the question. I can't answer why is it so close.
I feel like it's the price. Changing price.
It's not a change in price. The 1 penny doesn't matter. I know. I'm telling you, this doesn't. The 1 penny is not the difference.
I already turned mine in. So.
Is that what you put?
Yeah.
It's because it's off by a penny.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, I backed it up, so.
You showed your math.
Oh,
Where is
man.
the term sheet? I'm trying to see where's the term sheet?
It is. I think it's table A. No, table B. Table B.
So I'm looking at Exhibit 8. On Exhibit 8, it says the investment amount $15 million, price per share 7.06 cents. And it shows the pre-financing ownership. And it's kind of broken down, really, really refined, which I don't think actually helps because
I see on table B that it has the dividends is something that's also different for them. On the BzzAgent is none, but on the VC term is 7% cumulative.
yeah, but that doesn't affect how many shares of stock they have.
Okay.
All right, so here's the all right, so I found the term. I found the sheet here. Okay. So if they value, the option pool is 8% post money.
Good job.
Okay, so 50 million, 8% of 50 million is 4 million.
Here comes the red fire truck.
The investment is 10 million. And BzzAgent has 40 million. So 40 minus 4 is 36. So that's where that comes from. All right, I see how they broke it up. Okay. 36, 4, and 10 for a total of 50.
Oh my goodness.
So if they invest, so if the other company invests 15 million,
You want to say baby kiss?
at a $50 million valuation,
The baby.
and you're right, they changed the option pool to 17%
Yeah, mommy loves you.
post money.
You'll always be my first baby.
So, okay, so 0.17 times 17% of 50 equals 0.17. Yeah,
I love you.
equals 0.17 times 50.
Mommy have a kiss. Mommy have a kiss. Okay, bye. Okay, bye.
Oh, wait. Yeah, okay. So, I'm going to share, I'll share my screen again here. Okay, you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay. So, when I calculated this, I just calculated, I don't know if the exercise thing here shows how to do this. Yeah, it just does the match. It just shows the number of shares times the price, and that's what you get for this. Okay, so this number here, 11.05 million, right? Can you see this formula?
Yeah.
That's post money. That's $65 million valuation times the 17%, which is what they're specifying for the option pool.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's where the $11 million comes from. So it's just as simple as working. So really, it's just working backwards. It's 65. So 65 million. Let me do this here. So it's 65 million minus the 15 million.
Mm-hmm.
That leaves you with the 50 million.
Okay.
And then it's minus the, let's just call it 11 million for the option pool.
Yeah.
That's what you're left with, 39 million.
So
Then
okay.
it's just as simple as doing the math, saying, oh, you own $39 million of the company now. Oh, what's the share price? This. How many shares do you have? That. That's how many shares you have. So it just comes out in the wash. They have $15 million. We all say the company's worth $65 million. They own 15 of it. That leaves everybody with 50. They're increasing the option pool to that much. They're left with 39. So so what is that divided by that? So that's how much percentage of the company they have.
Uh,
Does that make sense?
yeah.
So that's the option pool. So it's 17%. The
Okay.
option pool is 17%. So that's 77%. So obviously, what's left over? The company owns 23%, right?
Which is
And
what?
so that's what it says up here.
Yeah.
So my percentage sheets here, I didn't calculate it, and I guess that would have helped me because it doesn't show. It just says equals G20. I didn't fill it in, so that's my stupid. That's my fault because I didn't fill this part in of what the ownership was going to be. I didn't fill it in. I knew something was off. I was like, "What? Why? Where am I missing something?" It's this part here. So if I put in 60, I get it right, and if I put in 17, I get it right. It's really 16.9, but whatever. So that's the reason why it's close. So the answer. So the question is, hold on. The question is, why is that? Because the reason why
It's because of the option.
is because
Pool.
the option pool has increased.
Yeah.
So I guess if you look up here, you see they're giving 3% to the investor, and they're giving another 8%
To the employees.
to the employees, so another 9. That's what dilutes them down to 60% ownership. So that's the answer. It's different because the option pool eats up their equity, and the investor eats up about 3% of the equity. That's why they don't have the. So, which number is more important to you? If I can go back to the.
Well, my computer froze.
Why is the price per share very close, but the value to current shareholders is different? Okay, well, isn't that obvious though? Don't you want to retain more equity in your company?
Yeah.
If the company is bought out for $100 million, if you own 60%, you get 60 million. If you own 72%, you get 72 million, right?
Right.
So if you're a founder, don't you want to keep equity? And if you're so what if you're a Series A investor? What's the Series A investor want?
I'm not sure.
I think the Series A investor wants a high. See, they don't necessarily care about the equity as much as they care about share price.
Yeah.
Right? Because they own. Aren't their shares now worth more? So the share price stays the same. So they don't get any more. They're not worth anymore. So I would think you would want to see a higher share price. Because if you're a Series A, you're lumped into the current shareholder pool, right?
No.
Yes.
Okay, give me your plate.
So that was that. Okay, that's on page 25. The Series A have 682,000 shares.
You can have this back, but don't go back there.
They own 12% of it,
You want it back?
right? So
Okay.
Series A owns 12%.
Well, let's get some yogurt. Let me do some yogurt.
So what's worth more? So they own 12%. So if they owned, well, I guess they own 12. I guess they own 12% of 36 million, or 12% of 39 million.
Yeah.
Which is a $3 million difference. Which is
17%.
yeah, that's $360,000 difference that they make. How many shares do they have? 68250. 682,500 times.
So are we wanting to write the paper?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I would still think that the founders. I think the Series A care more about the share price. I think.
Oh yeah. And I feel
Because-
like they also can get into like a discount and get more ownership. Not ownership, but more shares.
That's only if it's a convertible note.
Oh, okay.
That's only if they get a convertible note. Then it's a discount.
Okay.
Because if they, I just did the calculation. If the share price went up, according to this specific situation, if the share price went up by 50 cents, they get about $350,000. So I don't know. I guess I don't know. I guess higher valuation is also good. It just depends on how much it is. But there's a difference between the valuation increasing and the amount of Series B investment.
Here, okay, I'll show you. Come here. Ready?
Let's see here. What's next? Go to the tab class prep worksheet.
I'm gonna get your bag.
Discuss your answers.
So
Right.
my thing with this, with the VC term sheet, is that the buzz agent told each firm that those are the terms, right? And they didn't want anybody to change them, but they went ahead and changed them. And if they change them, then it would like lower their chances or whatever.
Right.
So my thought was, okay, well they went ahead and they did not just change part of it, they changed most of it, So for me, as a owner of the business, my next question would have been like, okay, so they just changed all of this even though I told them not to. Are they gonna be like this throughout the whole time they are part of the company? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, would I want to have an investor that's like that? That's my opinion, I don't know.
That's great. I see the 12. I see that the percentage of ownership changes quite a bit, and I think that if we looked at the the Series A, for example, they own 12%, and I think having going from 72% interest to 60% interest cuts theirs quite a bit. Yeah, the BzzAgent didn't want to have a big option pool, so I would think that the venture capitalists think that they want those options so they can attract, the talent that the company's going to need to help it grow,
Yeah.
So I get why they would do that. But definitely that means that basically the current shareholders have to give up their ownership to the employees. They have to lose 8%. They have to lose 8% and give it to employees. So,
what's your opinion, Charles? Or what do you wrote?
What did I write?
Yeah, on that question.
I haven't written anything for that question. Sorry.
And what's your opinion?
What?
Then what's your opinion then?
The VC term sheet describes the word forward.
You're talking about the question 1, correct?
Yes. Should they go for the VC or should not?
Should they go for it? I would.
Why?
What is that? 3 million? Where does it show that at? 3 million? $3 million? Where is that? What, there it is, 3 million. Where does it say 3 million? I don't see that anywhere. 3 million? 7%? Okay. I keep trying to open this. But
I think we answered number 2 already with the 8% that we discussed.
Number 2 says how much valuation would you give up in the VC term sheet in exchange for getting the board structure initially proposed?
We discussed it. It was like 8%, something like that.
Well, no, the thing is that no, they're already giving up the 8%. The question is, how much more would you give up in exchange for the board? So right now they're at 60%. Right? If they take the deal, they're at 60% down from 72. So how much more equity would they be willing to give and to have an additional board member?
Well, I answered that one wrong. Again.
Dipping it in there. You put so much in there.
What?
Charles.
Invest. The venture capitalist investors have 23% ownership. And they're putting in $15 million. How much equity would you give up to replace one of their people on the board?
When
And what's it worth? It's kind of arbitrary because I don't know how to make such a decision. I don't know how to make that type of decision.
yeah.
I base my decision on the 8%. I'm so bad at this.
But that means now you only own 52% of the company, right?
Yeah. Describe the distribution of X.
I don't know. I don't think I would give up that much. I think I would give up like maybe 2%.
Yeah. Maybe that's something that they could also discuss, you know, like lowering that percentage. Anyways.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we haven't talked about any sort of counter offering, you know.
You all done?
The third one says that the BzzAgent term sheet described a planned distribution of approximately $3 million to management and current investors immediately prior to the transaction. I don't remember reading about that.
For investor, like how we feel about that is like, well, my next question will be like, okay, so how are you distributing it? Are you distributing it equally, or are you distributing it according to the percentage that we talked about, you know? Because if you're doing it equally, then that's not fair for an investor because they have obviously invested. They might invest more, you know? I don't know.
Are they? I mean, that $3 million is not to like necessarily buy anybody out, though, is it?
No, I think it's just like a kind of like a bonus, isn't it? That's how I view it.
You want to turn the table? Is that what you want to do? Get move these. You gotta move these first.
Yeah, I mean, it says so. The question says, what is your opinion of the merits of such distribution? I mean, I would think that if I started a company ground up with some people and we were making $1 million a year and going to 3 million and 7 million, and then my company was evaluated at 40-50 million dollars, and we got a big chunk of change from somebody, I would want to pay myself first.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, okay, good, we've made it. We've found an investor to invest in us to grow the company.
And I think that's what
Back.
Walter will feel like, you know, he'll be appreciating.
Yeah, well, from Balder's perspective, yeah, it's like, hey, this is my company. I came up with it. Sure, I've been making a salary, but now I'm at the next level. Time to take a reward for my all my work, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm sure from the venture capitalist perspective, they're like, wait a second, you want our money so that you could pay yourself? But then again, it's like, hey, wait a second, you're venture capitalists. Don't you take money if you're a venture capitalist and you're at the early stage of a company and you're a Series A or a seed investor and a Series B comes along and gives you money, are you telling me that as a venture capitalist company, you're not going to want to get paid? You know?
Yeah.
what if they were in the seed round or in the Series A round, and then another B company came by and invested in them? They would want to get paid because their investment is a risk, and anytime somebody comes in with a bunch of money, they want to be able to pull back on that risk a little bit and say, okay, look, we've got some of our money now.
Yeah.
So
I guess time could play time could play a big part on how to distribute, like how long has the investor been in it too.
Yeah, I mean, if you've invested in the company for 3 years and haven't got anything out of it,
then pay those.
right? Okay, so
Here comes the paper.
can anybody see the B, the case B?
I can.
Congratulations. I can't.
I can't see it.
Did you turn in your poll?
Yes.
Let me try it again. The window opens up, but it doesn't show anything.
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, firm A. I'm just gonna start with the options because the rest is the same. Firm A was a recently established East Coast seed and early stage investor founded by a team of experienced entrepreneurs and investors. The firm prides itself on being an active investor and bringing deep resources, which is one of the ones that they talked in the paper. What's different here is that they added that the one area that Balter was not able to rate firm A highly on was cached, partly due to the fact that it had been launched early, only a few years before, and had yet to develop a credible track record.
Right. That's in that. I read that in the original case study.
Okay, so then the B one, that one is the one that talks about the one that changed everything. It says, despite the objections of some within the firm, however, Firm B had proven to be both enthusiastic and helpful in the fundraising process. Upon discovering that Belter had not yet completed a full sheet of financial projection, Firm B sent 2 of his employees to Belter office to develop not only a financial forecast but a full set of slides for him to present to Firm B's partners. The employees left only one slide titled, "What can Firm B do for you?" for Balter to complete on his own, which he forgot to do. Fortunately, when he got...
Hold on a second. So I understand what you've said so far. The new VC who changed the offer said that they didn't have some good financial statements proposed or whatever.
Yeah.
Or forecast. So they sent some employees over there to help them set that up.
Yes.
And then they made
to present it.
Okay.
To present it to the investors, so Balter could present it. But then he forgot to do the only slide that he was supposed to do.
Balter did that.
Yeah.
Balter forgot to do his slide.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Continue.
He forgot to do. Fortunately, when he got to that slide during the meeting, the partners embraced the question, using it as an opportunity to once again emphasize the energy and the resources that they could put into making BzzAgent successful.
Okay.
Firm 3 is This is the one with the 20-year experience.
On the East Coast and the West Coast.
Wait, unlike firm A and B, which were both relatively new, East Coast entrance to the VC industry, firm C was West Coast firm that had been in business over 20 years. While Walter was impressed with firm C pedigree, he wondered whether they truly understood consumer internet business. Firm C had recently invested in a Boston-based startup with significant traction, but no monetization model.
Yeah. Monetization.
Surprisingly high valuation. Although he liked the idea that they were willing to pay full price for deals that they liked, Walter worried that this might be an indication that they had a poor understanding of the economics of the industry. And then from D, this is the one that made the 60-page document, which I really liked.
Oh.
Like firm C, firm D was long-established VC with over 20 years of history operating out of offices in Boston. I think we already. Firm D had been the most responsive firm throughout the process, going out of their way to offer advice and instructions to buzz agents that came from their deep domain expertise. The firm put together a 60-page document outlining everything that they could do for buzz agent and offered immediate help in putting together a full executive team, which they had already laid out in a proposed organizational chart. While Firm D seems to be a strong fit on paper, Walter never felt that they quite connect with the lead partner on the deal. He wondered if his rank system captured this properly, and how much weight should be given to such early signals, particularly for a relationship that will grow and evolve over time.
I feel like I've read some of that before.
Yeah, it's like they added like one more, I think, because there's 4 options, and I think the other one had 3.
Right. All right. So, as a group, decide which offer we will take.
Charles, do you want to write?
I can write, yes.
Cool.
Well, it's a Google document, so we could. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, that's true.
We could all. So it needs to be turned in. What? It needs to be turned in tomorrow.
Yes, or today for me, because it's already 12.
Oh, it's already midnight.
Yeah, it's already 12:13.
Yeah. So we just need to designate someone to, I guess, turn it in.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we can work on it. The create Word document. State your decision and explain your reasoning. Okay, should be a brief.
I vote D.
All right, you vote D.
Yes.
Zul votes D. Let me scroll back up here to the list here.
I vote D, and I also like B, but I don't like the way that they like because I think that's the one that changed the whole term, which I don't like. I like more D.
So firm D though, he scored it kind of poor.
Wait, what's the percent? What's the endpoint?
Yeah, the 10-point scale. 11 was the worst. So the thing is that he doesn't weight each one very, he just gives them all equal weight. So So firm A was the one that was in what, Boston?
Firm A.
Firm A was the one that was in Boston, but was new, right?
That one is on the East Coast and is early stage investor founded. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
I was
Yeah.
leaning towards firm A. So cachet seems like how many deals you've done, right? That's how I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
So they're concerned. So firm B was the one that submitted their own sheet.
The only thing with firm A is that yes, they're new, but do they have connections? Like what are they gonna bring to me? Because all these other companies, like one is giving me a 60-page document outlining like a bunch of things. B is like giving me like helping me already on my financial projections,
Right.
So what is A bringing me to the table? Being kind. Nobody likes being kind on business,
Right.
I'm just kidding.
No, I mean, no, I get what you're saying. Oh no, okay, so it does say, I'm sorry, it did say that they wanted to buy back shares from some investors and give a bonus. So yeah, they are going to buy back some shares, and they were giving about. That was another question though. Sorry. I'm trying to find what the criteria were in here in this case study of why they wanted the money in the first place. Do, 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 do.
I think they wanted to introduce more models to it, wasn't it? They had the original model and then they have 2 more that they wanted to do or something like that.
Yeah. Well, so I could rule out that I don't think I like to deal with B because I don't want to give up equity.
Yeah. So wait, let me write it.
And a position on the board.
Wait. Where is it? Where's my thing?
I like C.
Let me go here. So going back to the ranking. So firm C was long established. They had offices in Boston and Silicon Valley. They had been the most responsive. They made the 60-page document outlining everything they could do for BzzAgent and the full executive team. But he says he never felt quite connected with the lead partner on the deal.
Yeah. That's the only downside. But hey, it's bringing me stuff to the table. So we don't want B, right? Do you want B, Charles?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so C is not bad. Based on his ranking system, he ranks effort a 1, chemistry a 2. Well, I don't understand if he didn't feel quite comfortable with the guy, why did he give him a 2?
Well, the C I don't like either because it seems like they don't have understanding of the industry.
Is that what it says in the case B?
No, that's for C.
Well, in C it said that they had a substantial reach within the technology community.
Right.
This is B though. I mean C on case B. We're on case B, guys. We're basing it on case B.
Oh,
What? Hold on. I can't read case B. Oh yeah, now as a group, read the raising capital at BzzAgent B case. As a group, decide which offer you will take, if any, create one word. Okay.
now,
Hey, Zula, can you put that on your screen and share it? Is there any way that we can see that? Or can
course.
you figure out some way to...
I won't be able to write though.
hey, I was able to finally pull it up.
I might have to sign out of...
Here. You want to look at this case B?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and take yours down.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I can't get it. Mine's in there.
Oh gosh.
Oh, cool. You could download it. I'm gonna see if I can just log out of getting out of iLearn. Log back in. So he changed. So it changed.
Yeah.
Firm D is the better one.
Huh?
Yeah, so Firm D is the better one.
Yeah.
So
That's why I
basically,
chose
it looks like it's like the old Firm C is the new Firm D.
Yeah.
Got it.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So I vote D.
yeah, I think I would vote D as well.
How about you, Charles?
Well, yeah.
Well, so so Charles voted C, which is the new D.
Yeah, because you were looking at the other paper.
Firm D had the substantial reach within the technology community.
All right. So yeah. Okay, so oh, please reload. Your access to this file has changed. Please reload. Has Zul been typing on the document?
No.
Oh.
Yes.
I couldn't get to it. I'm like, why can't? So Zul says we recommend to choose from D. Option B is not a good idea to choose because we would be losing equity and percentage of ownership. That's what losing equity means. Yep. Option C is not a good idea because the firm has poor understanding of the economics of how the industry worked.
Wait, was I redundant?
On the second sentence, yeah, losing equity.
Okay, I'm gonna put the larger word on.
Yeah, so option B is not a good idea because we would be losing. Well, don't say we, right? The company would be losing equity. What was I gonna say? Charles has the screen up still.
Yes.
No, I know, but you're looking. I can't see the case thing. That's okay. No, I'll go back to mine because I think I understand it from my. Yeah.
What do you need to see?
No, it's good. Because Firm D is Firm C. I just remembered that, so I went and looked at Firm C. I was trying to
Okay.
remember my thought. I was gonna write something.
Oh,
Where's the document here? Firm. Two.
Yeah. But it's okay.
Capital.
on that firm D, I was thinking that Balter did not. What was it? He did not. I guess see eye to eye with the lead partner on the deal, but that's probably just a personality conflict.
Right. It's something maybe superficial.
Yeah.
You can put it. Do you want to write it down, Charles?
I can.
Yeah.
So we're okay. So up here, Charles.
Yes.
So put it. It's a good lead-in sentence to this. So if it says, in spite of what Balter is his name.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the VC owner? VC.
Oh gosh, what was it? The lead partner.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
So we're acknowledging that that's the case, but we think that, yeah.
You ready for bedtime? No. You don't want to go to bed yet? No. You're tired. You know you're tired. Hmm? I know you're tired.
What do we call this period of the process? During the
Seed. Wait. Series, yeah.
Introductions to whom?
it says introductions
To people within the technology community?
where does it say? To deep domain expertise. So I don't know what that deep domain expertise means. It sounds like websites, but
Yeah.
what does that prove though?
You on
Okay. So I wrote my part.
Can I move it to this part
Where?
after because?
What are you gonna put after this is because?
Wait, let me read your part.
Yeah. Here, I will
It flows together.
do it like that, and then just do it like that, and do it like that, and then like this, do like that, do like that. As a group, we recommend that the best option to choose is Firm D as.
But
How about we say Series B investor?
yes. Yeah.
Oh, also, I guess it's repetitive, but the reason why D is better is because they don't lose equity, but we've mentioned that's in here. B.
Should we do this as a like list and say like the reasons why we didn't choose the other firms are because, and then put it as a list?
That's fine. I like bullet points. That's good.
We gotta go get ready for bed soon.
that make sense? Okay. Sorry, I almost. Where are you gonna sleep?
Go.
Yeah.
This is probably
We're still almost home.
you hear that? I have to take it back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does it say how long it has to be? I
No,
don't
we're
think it
good.
said.
This is good. We're just polishing it up. I think this is fine.
Okay. Is there anything you want to add, Charles?
No.
So, what do you do? Do you download this, and then how do we turn it in?
Yeah, I can do it real quick. You can even see me. Can you see it?
No, I don't know.
Download.
Okay, so Zul, you're gonna turn this in like it is, right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna turn it in right now.
Okay, cool. All right. Let's see here. So that's a wrap.
Yep.
So I noticed that in some of the instructions it says we're supposed to timestamp. I don't think we've been doing that, but
I have been doing it on my quiz. Like I told them, we start with the questions since the beginning.
well, the thing is I haven't had any feedback and none of them have been graded. So
Yeah.
it's like, well, I don't know. I'd hate to find out that you guys did your videos all wrong, and then it's like, well, we were doing 7, 8, or 9 of them. Why didn't you tell us?
Yeah.
But in summary, we've decided that BzzAgent is profitable. We've wondered why they are seeking financing in the first place because of their success. But we believe that Firm D is the best option because they don't lose equity. They're familiar with the technology, and they're somewhat easy to work with. And another reason would be we didn't add this, but they're located geographically nearby.
That's
Right?
true. They'll be easier to like work with.
Yeah, I didn't think of that at the time. But it's an interesting thing is that like that firm B is really good at what they do, and I think although they have had success, I think that they probably lean towards being a little bit self-interested.
Yeah.
And the fact that they came back with their own term sheet kind of to me is like it's like you're a little too clever.
That's why I was like, I mean, I didn't like how they did that because it just shows like I'm on the investor and now I own your company because I just invested in your company.
Right.
That's what I feel like.
I mean, I can see from their point of view that they want to have extra stock so they can use stock options to bring on, good partners, whatnot. But if they have control over the board, what stops them from just necessarily bringing in their own people, their own teams, and then giving their team stock options?
Oh my gosh, you are right. Okay,
I
I'm
better
gonna
write
show.
that down because that's an aha moment, and I'm going to
Yeah.
need that in the reflection.
I submitted it.
All right.
Submit. So again, checked off your boxes. Checked off your boxes.
All right. We done recording?
Yes.